this video, we'll continue the tour through the maps of Middle-earth of both the vanilla game's map and also the map of the Age of the Ring mod, comparing and contrasting not just one another, but how they stack up to the official map of the books. All of this is part and parcel of doing a full-on exploration of the controversial War of the Ring mode for both games, as I do not believe you can do such a thing without looking at the locations in some depth. Unlike the last episode, here I'll explore the most iconic locations in Middle-earth from both the books and films. Of course, given the sheer amount of locations, just like the last video, timestamps are included in the video description for quick reference. So let's get started. Let's start off with the locations of The Hobbit in Wilderland, before later getting into those of the Lord of the Rings, which is an all too appropriate way of exploring these places. And here in Vanilla is the realm of Dol Guldur, standing unchecked by the absence of Osgiliath. It's actually a pretty well-made map overall, evoking Mordor and the Dark Tower quite a bit. A real hellscape in Middle-earth. AOTR, it has been faithfully recreated to be movie accurate in all its glorious horror. But regarding Vanilla, they did take the time to include a few key places from the books that are done well enough for their time. Further to the east lies the legendary Lonely Mountain, last home of the dwarves. But sadly, there is no Esgaroth, the rebuilt city of Laketown upon the Long Lake. But a basic kind of dale is there. By the way, this is really one of the most unusual but still cool structures I've seen in the game. A little way for the dwarves to send up their mined goods or something, I'm not too sure. In AOTR, it has been stunningly recreated to be film accurate and complete with Dale. Of course, the last homely house, Rivendell itself, and the Grey Havens have a place of honor in the vanilla game as well. In AOTR, both locations have been beautifully remade and expanded. Isengard is of course a classic. In vanilla, it is the pre-industrialized version, which you get to fully industrialize yourself if you're that faction especially. In AOTR, Isengard is already the fully industrialized powerhouse it's known for, ready to set the world on fire. And it now includes the dam that the Ents break to flood the Ring of Isengard, a feature, by the way, that does have a real effect in the single-player campaign. Weathertop is a surprising location to have been added to the roster, a decently faithful recreation. But Weathertop is much more fully film accurate in AOTR, right down to having even the little alcove where they have the fire, with the fire still burning no less. And the Shire, of all places, is here as well. It's too sacred and beautiful a place to battle it out in my book, unless of course you're Saruman with his ruffians like in the books. In the AOTR version, it's very similar to Vanilla's version, but with locations changed around to be more film and book accurate. And now there is Bag End. Notice that the mill is also now placed on the water at the bridge leading into the Shire. Osgiliath makes an honorable appearance here as the prime battleground to hold the river, but it doesn't really feel much like a ruined city. And Osgiliath is now much more film accurate, not only feeling like the legendary city racked by constant warfare with Mordor, but filled with ruined city streets, causeways, the winding river, and above all, the great bridge mentioned in the books. The Black Gate is one of the very few locations from vanilla that AOTR did not change. However, judging by the teases to the last Alliance scenario to come, I wouldn't be surprised if the Black Gate looked a bit different not too long from now. Of course, key places like Helm's Deep and Minas Tirith are important on the vanilla map, and have long been pretty fun fortresses to defend and conquer. AOTR, we see a fully film-accurate version of the Fortress of the Hornburg. The detail is so incredible as to include the cutaway of the inside leading into Aglaron, the glittering caves. Standing in direct opposition to the White City, as it should, is Minas Morgul, the Tower of Sorcery, though conspicuously absent from the Living World map itself. Somehow, with all the secrecy surrounding it, I suspect they'd like to touch this more than a little bit with that. There is a great little Easter egg in this version, though. The Stairs of Cirith Ungol. And at long last we come to the White City, Minas Tirith itself, City of Kings. The AOTR version is only a bit more expanded, having the burial places of the kings, a bit more of the city, and far more space to move outside the city, but still quite beautiful. Judging by the various teases shown by the developers for what's to come in the Return of the King campaign, the new version will be stunning. By the way, if you like this kind of deep dive and want more great BFME analysis of its mechanics, check out these series of mine. There's the Attribute Modifier series, where I break down in great detail how modifiers actually work, comparing the vanilla games to the massive Overhaul the Age of the Ring mod implemented over them. There's also the Stealth series, where I show how stealth really works, again comparing vanilla to AOTR, and the beginning of the unit analysis series with the Berserkers unit. I also have a growing library of tutorials on how to use the BFME world builder and how to mod, along with lots of great gameplay videos besides. Well, this about wraps up this video. There are only a handful of key Middle-earth locations left, such as Fornost, Goblin Town, and others. This series is by no means an exhaustive exploration of all places from the games or books, just many of the important ones, typically which play key parts in the stories. In the next episode, we'll cover many other important locations, some of which are only names from the books brought to glorious life in the Age of the Ring mod, while others are not from the books or films at all, being completely original to the Age of the Ring.